Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. I imagine maybe some strangers will listen to this, and somehow in a search, uh, they will have typed in the word Billie Eilish and this video came up. And if that's you, this may sound really strange. I've only got a small channel and not many people really listen to my videos, but the majority of my videos I do on this channel is a nightly interview with people in heaven and an interview with God once a week. And so, in New Age terms, not Christian terms, I am a Christian, but in New Age terms, you'd call me a medium. And I've talked to Billie Eilish and got to know Billie Eilish quite well over the last few days. And she says, in her opinion, if I called myself a medium and operated like a medium in the earth, I'd be recognized as one of the best mediums in the world. And so if you're not a Christian, you could probably understand that. But a medium is someone who can make contact with a loved one or someone who's passed. It's what I've done over 100 times on my YouTube channel. In New Age terms, I've channeled Michael Jackson, uh, Freddie Mercury, John Lennon, Princess Diana, the Queen, Prince Philip, King David in biblical, um, Hitler, uh, Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm experienced at it. So I know multiple people in heaven, and I talk to them, and I've got relationships with them. And one female I had really a good relationship with suggested that I did this video. I developed a really close relationship with her because she preached about 50 videos through me. So um, I'm a little different to maybe some YouTubers. I get all my messages from inspiration, and most of the videos I've preached on Christian topics have been inspired by an angel. And but when I was getting to know this girl who I've got a close relationship with, she preached 50 messages on the book of Revelation through me. And it was just for her to gain experience on preaching and for me to spend so much time hearing her that I developed a relationship with her. And she's now a lead singer in the throne room. And every time heaven worships, she sings. She may not be the lead vocalist on every song, but probably about 1 in 5 songs, she's leading the vocals. So she's very important. She's in a very high, exalted place in heaven. And she said to me, I was talking to her just minutes ago, and she said, if you want to build relationship with Billie Eilish, start to preach some messages through her and have her speak through you. So I met Billie Eilish years ago. She astral traveled, and I recognized her and spent an afternoon with her. Went to the beach and had a beer and talked to her, and um, I thought I was in a delusional state because I've got a mental illness. At the end of it, I spent time talking to a busker and gave him some money and told him Billie Eilish was with me, and she started talk through me to him. And he asked some questions, and a couple of the questions I didn't know the answer to, and she answered, and it was clear that she was really speaking through me. Um, so 2 days ago, she appeared again. I've had a breakthrough on my channel in heaven. All my messages that I interview saints and interview God and messages for the people of heaven. Had a breakthrough, and 2 days ago, she arrived, and a whole lot of other people arrived. And so I've developed a good relationship with her. And today she's going to preach. So, A Message of Hope and Sadness by Billie Eilish. So I'll let Billie speak. People, many of you know who I am. Many of you have heard my music, particularly young girls. And many of you know a song or two that they like of mine. And there are songs Matthew likes. But Matthew says of my music that he can't listen to most of it because it's too dark. It takes him to a dark place and he just can't listen to it. Matthew says it's the same as heavy metal music. It just has the wrong spirit on it. It takes him to a dark place. So he's never been attracted to listening to heavy metal music. And sadly, some of my music he's got a hard time with. And so my father said to him yesterday that so we astral traveled into his house and appeared to him and talked to him. Father said he'd been shown from an angel of mine, an angel of Matthew's. He'd been shown through Matthew's life, scene by scene, so he could really understand it. And he watched Matthew's life 3 times yesterday, and today he's up to 10 times. And so Matthew's gonna be an important person in my life. And he discovered that Matthew doesn't read the book of Psalms by King David in the Bible. And a lot of Christian musicians use the Psalms to write the lyrics for their Christian songs. But Matthew doesn't read this book that so many Christians go to because it's just so full of depressing Psalms, and Matthew's bipolar and takes him to a dark place. And so when Matthew told me that he has trouble listening to my music, and we saw that vision of him not reading the Psalms, I totally understand. That's the reason. So Matthew would really have to be told which are my happy songs for him to listen to them. I live in a really dark place. The best way to explain it is I'm in solitary confinement in a prison, and it may be bad enough being in a prison and being locked away from society. It's a very dark and sad place. But in solitary confinement, it's really dark, it's really sad, it's really lonely. And that's where I live my life. That's why my music has dark themes in it. Part of me is trying to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm here. Listen to me. I'm hurting. Part of me is just speaking to people and saying, hey, it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel this way. And Matthew feels that some of my music is creepy in a way, the way I sing and the way it sounds. And I really respect his point of view. I really respect people telling me their truth and why they're telling me their truth. It's a sad reality for people who are popular and famous is so many people come around them gushing with pride and gushing with happiness, their fans, and they're so excited to meet you and they want to impress you. So many people try and grow close to you for your money or position or clout. And it's hard to find really genuine people and experience genuine people. Some people get a lot out of being your friend. There's so many advantages to being friendly with me. And so it can be rare when you're really popular uh, and you've got a big name to find people who are like genuinely honest with you. Uh, some people mightn't like my music, and if they were talking with a friend and my name come up, they'd say, I don't really like her music. I don't relate to her music. But if they actually were in my presence and they met me, they'd be telling me how they like my music. They'd be lying to me. They wouldn't be telling me the truth. So when I heard that a couple of days ago, uh, when I came into Matthew's life, he turned on one of his albums that he had on Apple Music, and he listened to 3 songs and turned it off. He couldn't handle it. And that surprised me because I was standing behind him and wondered why he turned it off. And to make it successful in the music industry, sadly, it's really sad, but it's the honest truth that often you have to get involved with the Illuminati or secret society and practice witchcraft. And witchcraft can get you status and fame and power and money, but can also lead you into real darkness and having you doing things to maintain that traction you have with people. And Lucifer, uh, the god of witchcraft, is a very cruel taskmaster. For the Christians listening, he's like the Pharaoh with the Israelites, was whipping the Israelites and forcing them to make bricks and working them really hard. Well, Satan, like Lucifer, will give you status and money and fame and everything you desire, but he takes a lot from you too. And so my life is really dark, and I try and express that. And Matthew heard in interviews uh, that I don't often write from my perspective. I make up characters, and I allow people to make their own conclusions about my music, and I allow my music to mean whatever a person wants it to mean, or whatever they feel it mean. And I'm happy with any person's interpretation of different songs, and I'm open to hearing their interpretations. And I don't tell anyone that they're wrong. I write my songs, and if you resonate with it, it becomes your song. I don't own the song. But my life is very successful, but uh, it's full of sadness. And there is a pill that you see inside spy movies that Russian agents can have a cyanide pill, and it's just a pill that you dissolve in your mouth, and it'll kill you. And I'm not aware if that's fiction or it's true, but if there was a gel capped pill that you could take and the coating would dissolve in your stomach, and within an hour you'd die. I feel that I would have taken that pill a couple of years ago, and um, it's really sad to report to people that even if you do have a purpose and a destiny, even if you're walking out your purpose and your destiny, even you have money, you have status, you have clout, you have power, there can still be something in your heart that you don't have hope and you don't want to live anymore. And um, as I've been mixing with Matthew over the last 3 days and spending a lot of time with him, and you may wonder, I'm in America, LA, and he's in Australia, but I like astral travel. Um, he's totally not afraid that I practice witchcraft, and he's one of the most advanced Christians on the earth, and he's got no fear of witchcraft. And I've actually seen him doing a video, and Lucifer appear behind him in the room, and he was doing a prophecy over my brother Phineas, and in the prophecy, he said, Lucifer's just appeared behind me. You may wonder why he's collapsing and falling to his knees. That's because I carry a lot of power, and he has to fall under my power. Um, so I've seen that. I've seen his power. I know who he is. He's a remarkable man. And over the last 3 days, I've come to know that he's Jesus and he's God. Uh, he's got like an angel-like figure guiding him. They all love me and they accept me, and I've been admitted into places in heaven and experienced heaven. I've experienced the worship in heaven, and the wife of his that worships in heaven that suggested this video, and I've been in a cigar lounge in heaven where the spiritual elite in heaven drink whiskey and smoke cigars, and that may be surprising for some religious people that that happens in heaven. And yes, the alcohol is alcohol. Like if you drink enough of it, you can get drunk. Um, and I've been to his mother's house where she puts on a dinner each night, and some really famous people are at the dinner table. And I can't imagine. I've done some truly wicked things. I've done some truly bad things, and uh, the Illuminati will make you participate in certain rituals and things that are hard to erase from your mind. And yet here I am, not being a Christian, not accepting Jesus into my heart, not praying a prayer, not going to church. But it doesn't matter to Matthew. He still loves me. Doesn't matter to Jesus and God. They're not threatened by me. Here I am, like someone who's used Satan's power to ascend to a really high place in the earth, and I'm still welcomed into heaven. You know, 99% of Christians uh, never experience heaven until they die. Very few Christians have the ability to visit heaven while they're living, but it is possible. Paul said in the scriptures, we're seated in heavenly places, and uh, that actually means you've got a heavenly place, and without knowing, your spirit is in two places when you're Christian. So Matthew explains it that if you're seated in heavenly places in the throne room, for instance, all you got to do is open your eyes and you'll see saints and angels. And it's how Isaiah saw heaven, and it's how Paul saw heaven, and it's how John seen heaven. And it's open. It's open for not only Christians to go there, but it's open for someone even perceived as God's enemy to go there. And I certainly testify that I've been there. I'm fully loved. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how it is to be so famous, but really have no people that can see you, no people that you truly resonate with, no people who truly understand you, no people that can really help you. Matthew, I read, oh, listened to the audiobook, like, over 30 hours of audiobook about John Lennon's life, and um, he had a psychiatrist work with him for a year uh, in England. He moved to England and worked with him. And then John Lennon spent another 6 months or a year in the States with him. And after he'd finished giving John Lennon counseling, he said of John Lennon that he's been working all his life in psychiatry. He's had thousands of clients, and he'd never met anyone in so much pain than John Lennon. And when Matthew heard that in the audiobook, he realized that John Lennon would be a good friend for him. And so it's possible to be world famous and the whole world know you. You have a band that you're really close to, that you write with and produce songs with, perform with, but not even the band, not even your first wife. No one actually understands you and can reach your pain, and you're in so much pain. And so it's possible to be both really successful and really popular and really famous, really rich, but be in a lot of pain. And the audio book said that John Lennon went into a gallery one time, and there was a weird sort of Asian woman in there, and he started talking to her, and suddenly he realized that she could see him, she could understand him. And soon enough, they started an affair, and his marriage broke up, and he married Yoko. A lot of people mock Yoko and don't like Yoko because Yoko was said to have broken up the Beatles. But Paul, uh, John just had his heart won by Yoko, because finally someone could see him. And the reason I've appeared in Matthew's life is he's been chosen to see me. He's been chosen to investigate my life and investigate my songs and get to know me and be like a therapist to me and help me become greater, help me heal. And I've traveled a long way, and my life is just darkness. It's just dark. It's really sad. And I met Matthew years ago, like I said, and uh, the spirit that led me to him, and the spirit that said to me after I met him that he'd come back into my life when he was ready and when I was ready. And now I'm back in his life, and I never want to leave him anymore. And I never want to be out of his company. And you may wonder, how is that possible? How can I perform? How can I write? How can I go through life in America and be in Australia at the same time? The fact of the matter is my spirit travels, and my spirit can be in two places at once. And gifted people can be in three or four or five. You know, Jesus can be in a million places at once. And everyone meeting like a Jesus clone meets the authentic Jesus. It's him. And so Matthew, spend some time with my real spirit actually there. And then sometimes he spends time with a spirit that's there, but I'm back in America. I'm not consciously aware that I'm there. So he meets me when I'm consciously aware that I'm there with him, and we have good talks. And he spends time with me when I'm not consciously aware that I'm there. We have good talks. And that's possible for everyone in the spiritual realm. It may come as a shock to you that I'm in this complete darkness, and I hope as I spend time with Matthew and he investigates my songs, my father and Phineas put him on an assignment to download all my albums and go through my lyrics. and do his best to understand what I was talking about and understand me. And we hope together, my father, Phineas, my mother, and me, hope together as me and Matthew grow in relationship and grow close together, that over the course of time, I'll heal and I'll get better and I'll start seeing the light everywhere I go. And my songs will become more honest and they'll be about me. And I'll be able to write out my pain in a really cathartic way. So if you follow Matthew, this story isn't weird for you. He's met a lot of famous people, had conversations with them, and perhaps you want to look up some of those names he quoted on his YouTube channel and listen to those interviews. If this is the first video you've seen of Matthew, it's quite all right to think he's mad or he's insane or he's schizophrenic or he's out of his mind. Matthew has bipolar and schizophrenia. He's mentally ill. So he's mentally equipped to be crazy and out of his mind, doing impossible things. But as a witch and someone gifted in powers, I recognize he's very gifted and very powerful. I hope this encouraged you. If you're a Christian, I hope that this story of mine might change your heart about me. If you're a fan of mine and you believe in prayer, I hope that you can pray for me that Matthew and me may grow and I may change. And instead of seeing the light and hope in Matthew, that I might become my own light and my own hope. And pray for me that I could understand this God and this Jesus of Matthew and his angels. And I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in Christians. Uh, Christians can be very condescending, judgmental, rude, and proud. And I certainly don't believe in the God they present, because he seems in 3 days with Matthew, the God they present is totally different to the one God Matthew knows. You know, it's interesting when you're sitting on Matthew's bed in the middle of the night talking to him. Michael Jackson, Princess Diana, Jesus, John Lennon, they turn up in the room, his angel, his daughter from heaven, turns up and talk to you. And you can ask Jesus 100 questions. He's got all the answers. He's not like a normal Christian when you ask, why does suffering exist, or why does God allow pain, or why did this happen to me? He doesn't avoid the question or give you a cliche, general, bland answer. He answers your question in depth. He's different. He certainly isn't the enemy that witchcraft present him as. Witchcraft teach you that Jesus is Satan and Lucifer is God. It's totally inverted, and you know it can be your experience that Jesus really is the cause of all your pain and suffering. And certainly there's a case to be made that he's responsible for how bad the world is. But when you get to know Matthew's Jesus, the one that manifests in his house, and he has such authority that some of the best people in heaven come down and talk. When you experience the real Jesus and you see him face to face and you talk to him, he's completely different to the ones that the Christian church presents. And Matthew's totally different to all the Christians I've ever met. And so I want to encourage you, if you're a witch listening to this, that there is hope. I want to encourage you that you can still practice witchcraft, and when you die, end up in heaven if you continue to be a loving, generous, kind, good person to give a person a shirt off your back or your last dollar to a person. If you live that sort of unconditional love for people, if you have a love for humanity, doesn't matter what you get into with Satan, you'll still end up in heaven. There's a lot of witches in heaven. In fact, the heaven I've visited, witchcraft is the major religion in heaven. It's the most dominant religion. A sad fact of the matter is, and I've seen with my own eyes, that only 50% of born again, practicing Sunday worshipping Christians actually qualify for heaven. And that's because they judge a lot of people, and they're arrogant, and they don't love people. Someone can need $10 and they won't give the person. They'll judge the person for being alcoholic or homeless, or they've got any number of 100 reasons why they don't give. And Jesus in the Gospel says, give to everybody who asks of you. So I'm really happy. There is a light in my life, and I'm not afraid to say that light is Matthew. I'd encourage you to like this video. I'd encourage you to make a comment on this video and encourage Matthew. Matthew has no problems with you writing a bad comment and calling him insane or a lunatic, because he's got a certificate that says that he is, and he takes medication each day for his conditions that prove that he's mentally ill, and he's insane. It proves that he's obese and he's got diabetes. It proves that he's got a heart condition. So he's not afraid of being called insane or a witch or false prophet or any accusation, any name calling that you can give him. He can handle it. But I hope you're encouraged about this. I could really benefit from your prayers, and please do your best to comment. I'd encourage you to share his videos. I encourage you to follow his channel. Tune in for an hour each night and listen to an interview as Matthew interviews someone in heaven. God bless you, and thanks for listening. I really appreciate you listening to me.